Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. Week 5 of the NFL is here. Week 4 is in the books. My big four pretty much went 1-3 last week. Arizona straight out loss. Kyler Murray, I'll talk about him more later, but he's not looking the same, or maybe teams have caught up to him. Who knows? A lot of film now. And I lost Tampa Bay by a hook. I had 7.5 in the video. I actually bet him, I got him like 7, so I still got pushed. And then Baltimore, I won on, it was 13.5. And then when I went to the window, it was 14, so I got pushed on that, but I got 1 on the video. And I lost Miami game, I'm upset. I had them at +7 and they lost by 8. Oh, talk about losing so close, man. My Twitter, I went 1-2 again. It was under and overs. Everybody's, 1 week I went over and I still went 1-2. I all overs. It's unbelievable. And my teaser finally hit. Yeah, I cashed out on that teaser. 1-0 on that. Finally, I put some big money on that one. A lot of Oreos, I should say. 2-1 in my leans, though. So I did excellent in my lean. For those who watched the last part of the video, where I just talk about the games and what I liked as far as the spread goes. 9-2, excellent. So good as gold. So the comment of the week goes to Steve Whitaker. This guy makes me sleepy. No wonder why he's missing picks. I get it, but like my picks, I'm good at it, and I can do it with my eyes closed. So I understand why you're sleepy. 3 plugs before we get on with the picks. 3 plugs: the NFL YouTube Prognosticators League Facebook page is in the link below. You can check out other prognosticators like Matt the NFL Fanatic, Nam's Noodle, the Blind Canadian Cat, Bridgewater's Finest, Robert Sports Show, Gino's Picks, Johnny Talks Sports, Andrew Warren, and Edward Leonard. Check them out. Like I said, they're on the Facebook page. Link is below. Next, I want to give a shout out to one of my supporters, CustomJerseyPro.com. I got that link right on top. NFL season's coming. If you want to customize jerseys, they got baseball, basketball, football. Put your own name on the back. Customize however you want it, or you got that bowling league, whatever. Check that out. It's pretty sweet. And last but not least, Bet Smart Bet Bovada. Link is on my Twitter page. My Twitter is halfmooner, 2 at twitter.com. Check that out. There I give my unders and overs. I'm planning on getting better as the season goes. So it's a wild season, a lot of injuries, and it's a bit of a crazy season, man. So let's get the ball rolling. And my 4th pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to the New England Patriots. The Denver Broncos are an 11-point road dog. And let's just look at it one way or the other. You can look at the Patriots. They're on a short week. They just played Monday night. And you got Denver on a long week as they played Thursday night. So they had more time to prepare. The New England Patriots, they had Cam Newton probably not playing. So they're playing their backup. 11 points is a lot. I know Bill Belichick has never lost to a rookie quarterback at home. He's 20-5 overall against rookie quarterbacks. But then again, this is an off season where a lot of weird stuff is going on, a lot of injuries. 11 points seems to be a lot. Looking at Denver's side, we know they're on back-to-back road games. They have beat the Jets by 11 points. They lost to Tampa Bay by 18. So yeah, lost Pittsburgh by 5 and lost by Tennessee by 2. So it's most unlikely. You got rookie versus rookie, 11 points, a lot of points. So give me Denver +11. And my 3rd pick of the week, we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. The Miami Dolphins are an 8.5-point road dog. Basically, this is 2 teams, they're underachievers. San Francisco's highly injured, on both sides of the ball. They have a great defense, number 2 defense, but 2 starters just went out again. Ziggy Ansah, he's from Detroit. He just went out, and cornerback Kwan Williams, their starting quarterback. So they got 2 people more injured on defense as well. You know, San Francisco, if you knock out your Giants and Jets game, two winless teams, they lost by Philadelphia by 5, and then they lost to Arizona by 4. So here we got Miami. You know, he got Fitzpatrick. He's, you know, he could be either way, but usually he'll stay close in the game. They lost by Seattle last week by 8. They beat Jacksonville by 18. They lost by Buffalo by 3, and lost by New England by 10 their opening week. But here, 8.5 points. I think it's just too many points. It's almost touchdown and a field goal, and you'd have to lose by. Here we got San Francisco, a slow-paced, running type offense. You know, just ball control, and you got Fitzpatrick just slinging it all over the place. He could do it. I think he can keep it close within that 2 scores. So give me the Miami Dolphins plus the 8.5. My second pick of the week, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the Houston Texans. Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6-point road favorite. Again, another road favorite getting points. How is Houston? I don't understand how they're 0-4, and they just fired their head coach Bill O'Brien, you know, slash GM, and they're laying 6 points. I don't understand. I had to, you know, double take on that one. Is Vegas slinging me in? I understand usually when a team fires their head coach, they do better that week or the following week, and you know, to show that, you know, they're still a good team. And Jacksonville, just that, they're not a great team, but neither is Houston. 6 points, you know, it covers the 3, it covers 2 field goals, it covers 4. I just think looking at Jacksonville, you know, their scores. And if you look at both teams and you took all the stats between the two, Jacksonville wins in total scores 23.75 to 20. The passing yards, the average passing yards, 262.75 to 254. Average rushing yards per game, 104.25 to 73.5. Like I said, they rush better, they pass better, they score better. Number of plays with the ball control, you got Jacksonville 61.75 to 56. Yards per play, you got 5.94 to 5.85. So yeah, Jacksonville up and down. I'm just looking at it. And you look at Houston, they're 0-5 ATS and straight up in their last 5 games. 1-4 ATS and straight up at home. So, you know, Houston's the 29th ranked offense and the 28th ranked defense. You know, I don't see how they're favored in this game. Last game Houston played, they lost by 8. So, someone explain to me, other than someone firing their head coach, that they do better the next game, statistically, as you know, teams throughout the NFL. Is any way Houston a 6-point favorite? I don't know. No, my luck, Jacksonville will get blown out, but I am taking Jacksonville plus that 6 as my number 2 pick. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Cleveland Browns. The Indianapolis Colts are a 2.5-point road favorite. Another road favorite. I'm loving it. Indianapolis 3-1, Cleveland 3-1. This should be the game of the week. That's why I put it in my number 1 game of the week. The last 3 games Indianapolis played, they won by 8 against Chicago. They won by 31 against the Jets and won by 17 against Minnesota. So they would have covered that 2.5 points easily in all 3 of those games. Cleveland, they're averaging 35 points per game, you know, in the last 3 games. But if you look back to week 1, where they played a great defense, the Baltimore Ravens, they only scored 6 points. Here you got, now the Ravens have the number 3 defense. The Colts have the number 1 defense right now. And so I think they're just not going to be able to score well at all. So give me the Indianapolis Colts minus 2.5. All right, those are my top plays of the week. Here we're going to run down a few things I want to bring up before I bring on my leans for the rest of the games. Well, first of all, let's get the teaser out of the way. Everybody enjoys the teaser. I won last week finally after dropping the ball the first few weeks. So give me that props. You got to, man. Here we go. I'm going to give you another winner. I'm going to play some heavy money on this one. Or heavy Oreos. Oreos, kids. Hello, Oreos. All right, we got Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo on the money line. That's going to be my top pick. If you can tease them down 6 or 7, go ahead. Down to the money line. Dallas minus 2.5. I'm taking that. They are excellent in their division. To do extremely well against a winless Giants team. And then give me the Pittsburgh Steelers on the money line to tease them down 6 or 7. Here we go. We got Buffalo, Dallas, and Pittsburgh. All right, next I want to talk about, the bye weeks. We got the Packers and the Lions on the bye. I've been betting heavy against the Lions. Last week I had them on the over, and I had New Orleans, minus. I got it at -3, I think. Doesn't matter. They won pretty heavily. Things to look out for. We got 4 teams that are 0-4 in the league. You got the Jets, Texans, the Giants, and the Falcons, all 0-4, and 2 of them are favored. I don't get it, but I don't know if it is. And Vegas likes to trap. They know something we don't. And they like you think. And I said last week they always go for the 0-3 teams and the 0-4 teams. I don't know why. They just do. So last week I did extremely well doing that. This week, I've never seen 0-4 teams favored before. It totally blows my mind. So how can you go with that rule? You're taking an 0-4 team and you're laying points? I've never seen that happen before. So, you gotta go with that. And another thing I want to bring up, last but not least, is what I call a personal push number. My personal push number. For instance, Green Bay. I've done these numbers and spreads so many times. You get a number that you just won't go over with a certain team or player. So Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. They're off this week. My personal push number with Aaron Rodgers is 8. So last week I bet him with lots of Oreos, and I had him at 7.5. So it was under 8. So I took Aaron Rodgers with the 7.5. But if it would have been 8 or more, I would have probably gone, Atlanta. And that's what I think it was. I think Atlanta. It was right around that 8. And I ended up. I had them all my pools and things with Atlanta, but when it dropped down to 7.5, that was when I pulled that number. So you pull that number, and that's what you do. You got a personal push number, and that it is. Only on certain teams, certain players. The ones you see all the time. I'm gonna give you a couple of more examples with these leans. So, all right, the first lean on Thursday Night Football, which I'm undefeated on Thursday Night Football. Can you believe that? I never put them in my top picks, but here they are. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -6 at the Chicago Bears. The Bucks are 3-1, and so is Chicago 3-1. The Buccaneers, the last 3 won by 7. They won by 18, and they won by 14. So they've been winning pretty precisely. And here they're at 6. And you got Chicago. Like I said, it's 3-1. They're at home. The slow-moving offense. They are a home dog at this. They lost by 8 versus Indianapolis last week. So yeah, it has to be a number more than 8. Looking at Tom Brady, my personal push number is 6. So here the spread is 6, reluctantly. So it's right on the edge. I can go either way. But looking at this year's both teams, I think Brady's going over that 6 this year. And the Chicago, you need more points for them. So give me Tampa Bay -6 on the road. Next, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Carolina Panthers on the road to get 4. How's this happening? Again, Atlanta Falcons 0-4, giving up 4 points. The Carolina has won their last 2 games without their star running back. They've been playing ball control, decent defense. They won by 10 against Arizona and won by 5 against the Chargers. I had to take a double take on this. I thought Carolina was laying 4. I hear I'm getting 4. It's one of those things like, what the heck? Is it, Vegas baiting you? They come on, take it, man. I don't get it. Atlanta's also on a short week too. They played Monday night, so they had to, run home and quickly prepare for the Carolina Panthers. And then they're still laying, 4 points. I don't get it. So give you Carolina plus the 4. Everybody and their brother, I'm sure, is betting on that one. Next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. 12 points, man. 12 points. The Kansas City, let's look at them this year. I have a push number with Kansas City. I got them at 11. This was Super Bowl. They won by 11. Playoff games, won by 11. Several games, against the Texans, won by 11. There's that number 11. It's more than 2 points. If a team has to beat you, they have to beat you by more than 10. And that's why, and they get to that number and then stop. Somewhere at 10, 11, 12, an average around 11. Or Andy Reid says, hey, you're going to have to beat me by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. And then they'll just lay on the ball. Case in point, just last week, so that's what happens. 11 points. Here's a spread. It's 12. It's just one number over. It's like, so you look at them this year. How are they doing this year? Kansas City, let's see, won by 14 points in Houston, won by 16 points versus New England, won by 14 points in Baltimore. Now, the only other divisional game they played with the Chargers, and they only won by 3. So it's a short week for Kansas City. Kansas City, like I said, they're 4-0. They're number 5th ranked offense and number 8th ranked defense. So let's look at the other side of the ball. We got the Las Vegas Raiders, 2-2. But in their history, they're 0-7 in Kansas City. And Carr's 0-6 in Kansas City. Let's look at his losses, how bad it lost last 2 times. He lost by 31, lost by 32. And earlier, you lost by 11, 8-6, and then 18. He did earlier, as he's getting older, he's not doing as well. So, and you look at the Vegas, the last 2 games, they lost to Buffalo by 7, lost to New England by 16, so, man, 12 points might be justified. I'm not going against the Chiefs again. Like I said, I might, little Oreo sprinkles on that, but yeah, not too much. But I'm taking Kansas City minus that 12. Next, we got the LA Rams traveling to the Washington Redskins. The Rams laying 9 points on the road as Washington's our home dog. Rams, they beat the Giants by 8. They lost by Buffalo by 3. Beat Philadelphia by 18, and they beat Dallas by 3. So, kind of low scoring other than that Philadelphia game. Kind of low 8, 3-3. Washington, they've been keeping kind of close. Haskins is on the fence. He's still going to start this week. But, if he start doing bad again, they're going to bring out Kyle Allen. He actually came over from Carolina as well, as the coach did. He started out good last season, as Cam Newton went down and then just, faded out. But the last 3 games, we got Washington, they lost by 14. Baltimore lost by 14 with Cleveland, lost by 15 with Arizona. They are the 30th ranked offense, so they do really bad offense. They do decent on the defense, but yeah, Washington at home. Like I said, I like it's the only win they got this year against Philadelphia at home. So give me Washington plus that 9 points. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Tennessee Titans. This line opened at Buffalo plus 1.5, but has dropped. As of right now, they are not. You can't pick them on a line yet. Buffalo's won the last 4. They're 4-0. Won by 7. The Raiders won by 3 with the Rams. Won by 3 with Miami. Won by 10 by the Jets. So if I were to pick a bet, the Titans as well. They won by what? 1 by Minnesota. 1 by 3 Jacksonville. 1 by 2 by Denver. So Tennessee 3-0. Buffalo 4-0. So Tennessee's had the last 2 weeks off. Yeah, I would guess this spread's going to be around, I have like 5 or 6. I think I would take Buffalo minus 6. I think that's the most I go. If it went 7 or more, I think, Tennessee might keep it close. And I'd take that, 3, 4, and 7. So give me Buffalo minus 6 or Tennessee over 7. So it all depends on what the spread's going to be. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the New York Jets. Two teams I was going to bet futures on for this season, but the season just kind of blew up, and I knew it was going to be it's not going to be a very good season, and it hasn't been, you know. So I had them both. I think they were both going over 6. And Arizona still might have a chance to get over 6. Jets, I don't think they're going to get over 6. So I would have gone probably 50-50, but Arizona back-to-back road games. Jets 0-4. Cardinals 2-2. Kyler Murray, you know, I mean, he's been averaging the last 2 games like 200 yards, you know, and he threw like 3 picks in the Lions game. So he's not been doing well. I don't know if his girlfriend broke up with him or what. What I've seen from the you know, watching him play, I think the coach is like telling him to stay in the pocket and just stay as a pocket passer, which he's not. So when the pocket collapses, you know, he'll you know, either throw a pick or make a bad decision, make a bad throw, and he's told just to try to stay in the pocket. And like I said, they've been 0-2. Hopefully this week they will not tell him to do that. But I've lost the last 2 weeks on the Cardinals because of that. But I'm still picking the Cardinals again because the Jets are so bad. Jets are 31st ranked offense and the 30th ranked defense. They're the worst team in the NFL by far. They lost by 9 to Denver, lost by 29 to the Colts, lost by 18 to San Francisco, and lost by 10 to the Buffalo Bills. So all of those wouldn't have covered that 7 points. So I look at it that way. Arizona, I was going to put them as my best bet this week, but like I said, the last 2 weeks I had them in my best bets, and they did not cover. So give me Arizona minus that 7. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another game I was really thinking about putting in. 7 points might be just a hair bit too much for me. Pittsburgh, you know, they're kind of, you know, in past years, kind of, you know, they'll play to their, you know, opponents, you know. So if Philadelphia plays a bad game, I'm thinking Pittsburgh might play a bad game. Just to keep it wide, I do like Pittsburgh minus that 7 points. They won by 7 against Houston, won by 6 against Denver, and won by 10 against the Giants. But I'm thinking, you know, Giants and Houston are both winless teams. So Philadelphia, they won by 5 last week against San Francisco 49ers. They tied to the Bengals. They lost to 18 by Carolina and lost by 10 to Washington. So bad team. Pittsburgh, we think they're a good team. They had the last 2 weeks off, so they might have been preparing for the Eagles. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers minus 7. Next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. Huge spread, 13.5 points. Again, my personal push number with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson is 14. You know, it seems like last week they won by 14. You know, they always seem to win by 14 or so. And it's their average. That's my push number. So if it goes over, last week I got a 13.5. So I picked them, you know. Here they are, 13.5 again. And am I going to push my luck? Like I said, it all depends is that 14 number the time I go over there and get some Oreos at Bovada. And is it going to be 14? I don't know. And the game day might be 14.5. So, you know, I'm not going to push my luck. Last week I did get the push on that, and it was 14. And I did see him on game day at 14.5, which, you know, if I would have picked Baltimore, I would have lost on game day. So Cincinnati Bengals, this is a divisional game this week. Last week wasn't a divisional game. This week is a divisional game. Cincinnati 1-2-1. Joe Burrow, you know, I think he's been playing well. They won 8 points against Jacksonville last week. They tied Philadelphia. Lost only to 5 to Cleveland, another divisional game. And they lost to 3 to Chargers. So they're keeping all these games really close. So Cincinnati, I think I'm going to push my luck because it's the divisional game and take Cincinnati plus that 13.5. Next, we got the New York Giants traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. Another divisional game. Giants back-to-back road games. They are 0-4. They are the 13th ranked defense and the 32nd ranked offense. The worst offense in the league right now. They lost by 8 to the Rams. They lost by 27 to the 49ers. Lost by 4 to Chicago. And lost by 10 to Pittsburgh. Dallas, who has usually a good track record against their division, I think in the last few years, especially with Dak Prescott, we go Dallas. They're only 1-3. Last week they gave up 307 rushing yards. But again, the Giants, they lost Barkley to an injury earlier this season, so they don't have to worry too much about it on the rush. But I do think they'll score some points. The Dallas is the 3rd ranked offense, but the 32nd ranked defense. So it should be a decent scoring. Both these two teams should score. The spread is right now is 9.5 points. So yeah, that kind of led me off a little bit. Divisional game, 9.5 points. Man, it's a divisional game. You got to take 9.5 points. What do you got to do? The Giants plus 9.5 points. Divisional game. Both teams should score. I don't trust Dallas right now, especially after watching that Cleveland game. So give me the Giants at 9.5 points. Next, we got the Sunday night game. We got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle is a 7-point home favorite. Minnesota 1-3 back-to-back road games. They average in about 26.5 points per game. But if you take out the game that they got smoked in with Indianapolis, they are a good defense. They have number 1 defense actually. They're scoring 31.7 against average defenses. So when you take Seattle, who beat Miami by 8, Dallas by 7, New England by 5, Atlanta by 13. That first game of the season where Atlanta totally blew it. But they're keeping the games close the last 3 games, 8-7-5. And spread 7 here. Now, the Seattle ranking scoring about 35.5 points per game. So if you take 35 and 31, that should be a 4-point spread. Home field advantage, if there is one, it's 3, so that's where you get your 7. Here, I think I will take the more desperate team with the Minnesota Vikings plus that 7, as I know Seattle's defense is pretty bad. It's all Russell Wilson. So you give me Minnesota Vikings plus 7. And last but not least, the Monday Night Football game. We got the LA Chargers traveling to the New Orleans Saints. LA Chargers are a 7.5 point road dog. Chargers 1-3 back-to-back road games. The New Orleans Saints, they're on this losing streak, and then they won against the Lions last week. Like, who can't beat the Lions? And the Chargers, they're the AFC version of the Lions. I'm telling you that right now. They lost to Tampa Bay by 7, Carolina by 5, only Kansas City by 3, and they won the Cincinnati Bengals by 3. So 7.5 points seems to be a lot for me. I know that it's at the Saints. If it was like less than 7, 6.5 or something like that, I'd probably take Saints. But 7.5, you're covering the 3, you're covering the 4, and you're covering the 7. New Orleans, other than Detroit, has been playing well. So give me the Chargers plus the 7.5. Alright, and that is it for this week. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/halfmooner, the number 2. At Twitter, I like I said, I give my unders and overs. And also, if you want to, get some Oreos on Bovada, you can go ahead and click that link. It helps out my channel. And also check out my other sponsors if you want a cool custom jersey. Fairly cheap. I mean, I bought a last Christmas. I got my uncle, he's from Jacksonville, custom jersey. It cost me like $80. I go to this site here, it's only like $30. I'm not kidding you. And so just check it out. You just click on the link, just check it out. It's cheap, nice Christmas gift, and they look very professional too. And then the NFL Prognosticators on Facebook, check them out. Their all links are below as well. I will see you next week. Peace. Peace.
Want to look like a pro? CustomJerseysPro.com has what you need for any sport. Create your custom jersey by color or style from thousands of designs made for you or your team. Use PICS as a discount code at checkout and save an extra 8% on your next order. Remember, CustomJerseysPro.com and be the next professional in your neighborhood.
You enjoy placing a few bucks on your favorite team? Maybe try your hand at cards or on the slots. Use me as a reference and head over to my Twitter and click on the link below and receive a new member bonus and help support this channel. Bovada. Just better.